Alright, aloha family, Spencer-Mack here. I felt compelled to make this video after going back online and looking at some of the video responses to Dr. Amin-Ra's first interview. I want to express from the beginning, I've never been around him continuously in his living space or even physically, so I don't know if he is telling the truth to the highest. I really do find it fascinating though, how much it triggers people, just the idea of what he's doing, if it is even possible. So far everybody that's been making videos about it has no personal experience, and so I wanted to share my personal experience because I found out about Amin-Ra 2 Mays ago. So it's been a year and 3 months now that I've been doing the Amin-Ra protocol to the highest degree that I can. I've been lucky enough to be able to consult with him on 5 separate occasions over Skype, so I've gotten to know him over a period of time, and that's part of the reason why I almost feel like I need to make this, just to stand express how good of a guy he is and how much I appreciate his work. It has changed my life to the highest degree. So I'm just going to go on a rant of my personal experience. Like I said, I don't know what he really does consume, because he has a lot more mass than I do. I know I'm super lean. It makes sense that I could possibly pull something like this off. That's why I'm starting my own experiment. If you look a few videos back, I'm doing my own experiment now to see if I can actually build muscle on this low calorie, long-term intermittent fasting, daily cyclical fasting period that I'm on. I want to see if I can gain mass, right? I weigh 136 pounds right now, and I want to see if I can get on 20 extra pounds of muscle, or really gain any weight at all while maintaining the same amount of calories. I've been meticulously measuring and weighing what I consume for the past 6 months or so. The period about 9 months before that, when I was on the Amin regimen, I wasn't measuring my calories. I was just making sure that I could just get into a 1 or 2 hour feeding window a day. That was my main concern, and once I adapted to that, I started cutting the calories down. So I am going to make myself an experiment and share the videos to see if it is actually possible to gain muscle on such a low calorie diet. I'm vegan as well. Through the past year and few months, I've changed my diet multiple times. I've done ketogenic, which was a high animal product version of the ketogenic diet. I've been vegan, vegetarian, somewhere in between, and for the last 4 months I've been vegan and digging it. It's been life-changing. It really is. Just as I'm seeing it hurt people's brains to hear this kind of information out there and seeing the reactions, I was the same way in a sense. It shakes your brain to think that this is even possible. Right, that we could go for 23 hours a day and not eat, and then eat one meal and be thriving, but not only thriving, but one of the strongest men in the world. I'm not somebody to judge off the bat, but I am somebody who has to know from personal experience. So I dove in head first and it's been a trial. It's no joke, right? It takes effort, and it's a spiritual process. What I've gone through has been transformative on so many levels, life-changing, and I'm so passionate about it because it's done so much for me. There's so many issues that I've had trouble with in the past, just brain fog, fatigue, depression, lack of clarity, lack of purpose in my life, digestive issues, acid reflux. I had to be real careful with food combining. I don't really feel like training, but I want to. Skin issues, like my skin is so much smoother now, thank God. I used to have a lot of redness in my eyes, a lot of issues. A lot of the fatigue and the anxiety were a couple of the biggest ones for me, and it took me a while to overcome them. And as I said, this has been a long process. It's been a year and 3 months, and I've gone through many stages, and some of them are intense, right? I totally recommend people easing in a lot more than I did. I just kind of jumped in, so now when I help people into this kind of lifestyle, I help them ease in incrementally, which I suggest. I happen to be in the environment to where I could jump in, and so I did. And it's fascinating, it's blown me away. Okay, so I've only been counting my calories for the last 5 months or so. I've been on 1,300 calories. For the last like 3 or 4 months, I haven't really been training. I work on a farm. I'm pretty much moving all day. I have to maintain a good chunk of land that grows a lot. I do personal training and I craft tonics, so I have multiple businesses that keep me moving and active. I have a lot to balance and I need energy and I need clarity to perform in all of these areas. So it was a trial and then it became a blessing. The amount of energy and time that I have in my day now is just, it's immense. There's so much that I feel I want to rant about in this video. That's why I'm speaking so fast. I'm sure I'll share more in the future. So, whew, where do you even begin? So I've been on 1,300 calories, wasn't training for the past 3 months or so, decided I want to see if I can actually gain some muscle mass, and started training about 2 weeks ago. So, 1,300 calories for 5 months. I don't eat until the evening. I never eat until the sun goes down. My eating period is around an hour, hour and a half long. And I'm in the best health I've ever been in. I can say that and be completely truthful. I feel fantastic. And it's mind-boggling and it's beautiful and I'm so grateful for the information. That being said, it is an art. This is a very meticulously crafted lifestyle this guy's come to. I've got 6 of his 10 parts to his opus, to his work that he's writing. And as I said, I've consulted with him multiple times. Right? There's a lot that goes into it, because if you're only eating 1,300 calories a day, you're not going to get all your nutrition. So supplementation, utilizing the technology of supplementation is very valuable. Not just valuable, but necessary. Woo! So some of the most mind-blowing aspects that I've experienced off of this, as I said, just the spiritual journey of it all has been the most beautiful part of it. Going through those deeps, when you're digesting old parts of your body, you're getting all of these negative memories, old experiences, deep feelings you haven't wanted to touch in so long, and you get to that point where you're hungry and you don't have a choice anymore. And you go through it and you process it and it frees up so much space. So that is by far the most beneficial aspect of the fasting lifestyle, is the clarity that you get. So physically, the reflection of that is you're in autophagy all day, basically. You're in a state of ketosis. I'm back in ketosis around 8 or 9 in the morning, even though I eat around 9 o'clock at night the previous night. So you're in ketosis until, like, when I break my fast around 7 or 8. And so you're in autophagy all day. Your body's consuming the old parts of you, right? You're breaking down the denatured, the damaged proteins, and cleaning house. Breaking down scar tissue, bringing up old emotional issues and shit. It's fantastic. So it's been liberating to experience that. And one of the next most profound experiences that I've had, I made a video on this previously, after about 6 months or so, and after 2 months of actually being on the caloric restriction, I started waking up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, which is very different for me, right? I'm all about getting as much sleep as possible. I would lay there as long as possible. I do lay there as long as possible. And the sleep duration that I needed gradually got less and less and less until I catch myself waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, 4 o'clock, depending on what time I go to sleep. Literally getting by on 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night, which I found is a very meticulously, you really have to be on point to get that kind of game. Like if I start consuming too much protein or have too many calories one night, then I fall off and I'm back on normal sleep again. But whenever everything is dialed nutritionally and calorically, I'm waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning crystal clear. It's fantastic to have that much time in your day. So there I go, I get 3 extra hours in the morning of clarity, of space. How many extra hours during the day of not having to prepare food or even think about food? And then, I get extra time at night to stay up. There's so much more space in my day it's fantastic. It's been life-changing, and I'm just extremely grateful. That's why I wanted to go on this rant. Like I said, I've never met him personally, face to face, but the work he shared has blown my mind, and I've studied it meticulously and implemented it to the best of my ability. Dr. Amin Ra and one of my friends, Kota Mitamura, were two of the healthiest individuals that I've ever met in my life, and I always try to model the healthiest people that I know to see how the hell do they do this. And what's really fascinating is they both kind of came at health from opposite ends. Kota Mitamura was more of a internal feeling, intuitive individual, and he lived on this farm as well whenever I arrived here, and ate so little and so meticulously, and he'd always eat in the evening. You never really saw him eat anything, and his bowl of food was always so small. The guy's like shredded, like freaking Bruce Lee. And I started to train with him when I moved in here. We trained together for 8 months straight. He was growing and developing faster than I was, right? Eating less than I was. I'm like, all right, make a protein shake. It's like this big. And he's like, you know, a little protein shake. Very dialed, very meticulous, just enough, no excess. And he gained mass. He wasn't counting his calories. His diet was all raw, pretty much ketogenic when I think about it. And it's just fascinating that those two examples in my life both came towards the same kind of lifestyle. It's fasting, it's simplicity, right? It seems extreme, but it's actually extremely moderate. It's just enough. It's all you need. What's extreme is eating more than you need. This is not deprivation. I don't like the word caloric restriction. I like caloric moderation, right? We're right in the middle, finding what exactly do you need to the T. Any excess actually burns more energy. You need more energy to deal with that excess food. So it's such a precision game. It's beautiful. And the more clear you get, the more clear your body gets, the better you feel. Oh, it's fascinating. It blows my mind, and I'm stoked to learn more. And unfortunately, Amin is super busy now that he came out with that interview. So, you know, trying to get consults with him is a bit more difficult. But he is aiding me in this process, going to give me some advice on how I can go about gaining some muscle while I'm doing this. So I'm going to share what I learn and what I go through with you guys, and just enjoy the process, right? It is sad we can't trust people these days. People can say whatever they want to on the internet, but I will always genuinely share my experience because I want to know, and that's why I make myself the experiment to experience it, because that's the only way we can know. Fascinating journey we're on, and God bless the teachers, the people who share information with us that accelerate and invigorate and better our lives. It's an amazing, amazing world. Awesome, guys. Thanks for letting me rant. Big thanks to Dr. Amin and Kota Mitamura, all the teachers. Any questions, post them up. Lots of love and peace.